So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the area of the whole rectangle. Is that right? Would you say that the length is AX plus 2X? That's your entire length, isn't it? What about your entire width? 2x. So I'm going to multiply the two of them by each other to get the area of the rectangle, which is going to be 2ax plus 4x squared. Okay. The next thing I'm after is the area of the parallelogram. 2ax squared, thank you. Now, the next thing I'm after is the area of the parallelogram. The area of the parallelogram is given by its base, which is the red line here, times its perpendicular height to the other side, its opposite side, which is 2x, isn't it? So it's ax times 2x. So it's ax times 2x for the parallelogram, which is what? 2ax squared. Find the fraction in terms of a of the rectangle's area that is taken up by the parallelogram. So for argument's sake, if the whole rectangle was 50 and the parallelogram was 30, we would all say 30 out of 50, wouldn't we? So it's not 30, it's actually ax squared. And the area of the rectangle is not 50, it's actually, what's this? 2ax squared plus 4x squared. Factorize out the x squareds top and bottom, and what's left? Divide top and bottom by x squared, and what do we have left over? Yeah, 2a over 2a plus 4. Yeah, that's all we can do with that. That's the fraction. Anybody get it? Okay. Find the value of a required so that the area of the parallelogram is 4/5 the area of the rectangle. Well, also this means is that fraction equals 4/5. We're going to get 10a equals 8a plus 16, and then what do we have then? 2a equals 16 and a equals 8. Okay. Find the area of the darker section. I'm going to find out the area of this parallelogram here. Okay, what's the base, guys? Area of a parallelogram is base times height. So what's the base of it? 2x, yeah. And what's the height of it? 3x from here to here. So it's 2x times 3x, okay? For that first one. And 2x times 3x is 6x squared. You cool with that? We're moving, yeah. Okay. Next one, we'll go for parallelogram B. What do we think about this one? The base is still 2x, because it has to be the same length, doesn't it? So 2x. And then the other one, 2x high as well, is it? Which is 4x squared combined, we get 10x squared. Okay. The area of the full thing is what? 3x by, which is 15x squared. Take away your 10x squared, 5x squared. The ratio of the areas, I think they're talking about they didn't specify, but I think we're talking about dark compared to light, or light compared to dark. We'll just call it a 2:1. 10 compared to 5. That question, you won't get away with that question in the leaving cert. It has to be more specific. Okay? So you draw yourself a right angle triangle. It doesn't have to be the scale or nothing. And you go, you're 41. You'll be called X and you'll be called Y. Is that right? And we'll just say that X squared plus Y squared equals 41, which it does. However, the sum of all three sides equals 49. That means X plus Y plus 41 equals 48. This then means that X plus Y equals 7. Now you got to solve one simultaneous, one quadratic. So it's quadratic. Huh? Oh, is it 49? Sorry. That's 49, which makes that 8. Thank you. So sub out a letter you're choosing. I'll just do y equals 8 minus x, and then I'll sub that into the quadratic for the y value. You see it comes in relatively, should come out relatively okay. Thank you, I'm on a roll here. What is 41 squared? Sorry? 1681? Thank you. Okay. 2x squared minus 16x. 64 take away 1681. 1617. And there's no way we're factorizing that, right? Let's do the minus b formula there, guys. Equals 2, b equals minus 16, minus b equals plus 16, and c equals minus 1617. And we're going to do the minus b formula and see what happens there. Okay, am I getting an answer for that? So x equals what? I got x. But you used this equation, did you? It's symmetrical, so the y is in the x. So what's the x value? 32.71. Is there another answer? It's negative, so therefore it can't be an answer, can it? No. And then that's the x answer, isn't it? There's something wrong with this answer. That x answer turns the y value negative. Have we made a mistake? No, what's 8 take away? What's 8 take away 2? So we've discovered that this question basically what they meant was the sum of the two sides of the triangle. So there's misinterpretation here. We found out this question is bogey because the Rx value will turn the Y value negative, and a Y cannot be a negative. Then therefore this question wasn't fully thought out. So if you're faced with something you're having a hard time with, okay? So you call this point E for argument's sake, okay? And we have to rotate it 180 degrees about the point E. So imagine this point A. What happened if I chucked it around 180 degrees? Where would it end up? What? Will it not end up all the way over here? When you draw it out again, yeah? So, to me that means that E and C will just change position, won't they? That'll be C and that'll be D. And then we have to draw the rest of the trapezium. Okay, so C has to link to what, guys? C will have to link to B. So I'll just take this length of B. I'll grab it, okay, and B will end up here. And you can see that's pretty accurate. See the way it went to full 180 over the other side. Okay, and then D has to link with A, so that will put that there, and you'll be A. And then the AB, and what you said about the parallelogram is setting the ring through here, isn't it? So it turns into a parallelogram. Yeah, good job. So that's it. Rotate it 180 there. Okay. Now, what shape is made by the image and the original trapezium? A parallelogram. There is. We haven't done that chapter and all that symmetry stuff yet. but you might have done a small bit of that junior cert. What is the area of the composite shape? What's the area of the original then?
Just do 2ABC.
Alright, sorry. So, do you know what the area of a trapezium is? The area of a trapezium? Okay. So, if you all look in your tables, okay, you'll see a formula. Can you spot the form for a trapezium for me? Is A the top length? Is A the top length? A is the bigger one, yeah? Okay. So, Lars, look at this. A, B, and this is H, is it? Now, is the area of a trapezium the following? Okay. Is the area of a trapezium the formula? Let me see. Right. Is it a half A plus B over 2 times H? Is that it? Same thing. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to move the half underneath, and it's A plus B over 2 times H. Agreed? Now, what we're going to do right now with our image on the board is the following. Okay, we're going to use this formula for the trapezium. So this is the area that I just got rid of. The area of the trapezium. Is that okay? That's the area of a trapezium. Now, what we're going to say is the following, all right? This is small b. This is A. That's also small b, and that has to be A. Agreed? And the height stays the same. So the area of the trapezium is this, but what we're saying is that our parallelogram is twice as large. Would you agree with that? So if I multiply this whole thing by 2, what happens? It's just A plus B times H. And what is A plus B? A plus B is the length of the base, isn't it? And the length of the base, so the area of a parallelogram is the length of the base multiplied by the perpendicular height. And we see that a trapezium is half that, provided that the length is A plus B. That's it. Okay. So the area of the composite shape is a parallelogram. And a parallelogram is length of the base times the perpendicular height. That's why the length of that's why the area of the parallelogram is A plus B times H. We know the trapezium is half of that because there's 2 trapeziums make the parallelogram. So half your answer, and you get A plus B over 2 times H, and therefore the formula for the trapezium. So the area of the entire skip is given to you by the formula of the area of a trapezium. The area of a trapezium is A plus B over 2 times H. A is 10, B is 20, divided by 2 multiplied by 8. 15 multiplied by 8 is 120 centimeters squared because it's an area. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is the area of the half filled one has to be 60 centimeters squared. So you're going to do the same formula again. I'm going to add 10 to x. Again, then I'm going to, the height is y, isn't it? Might have to use the half trapezium after all. Okay. And what do we get here? Y is 10 plus x and divided by 2 equals 60, is it? And then what would just say 10y plus xy is 120. Everybody got that? That's only one equation with 2 letters. So it means I'm gonna actually have to use the top trapezium after all. So what I was thinking earlier wasn't such a bad idea now. That's 8 minus y, isn't it? The bottom is x and the top is 20. Let's go for that then. That's x plus 20 divided by 2 multiplied by 8 minus y equals 60. Now what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to say that the do you see the 2 times 60? I'm just going to turn that into 120. Now I'm going to multiply this out. This is a challenging question. AX. Well, no, this is division of 2, and I'm multiplying it by the 60 to come 120. I think 8x minus xy 160 minus 20y. Alright. What to do with this is a different matter. 8x minus xy. Alright, have an idea. Minus 40, yeah. I would add them together and all that, but I think the more logical way of doing this would be to isolate the y outright. So I'm going to isolate the y, and I'm going to say it's 10 plus x, and that's 12. And I'm going to say y on its own is 12 over 10 plus x. And anywhere I see y, I just get rid of it. Just get myself down to one letter as quickly as possible. Huh? I was 120. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right. The good news is two of them have the same. Two of them have the same common denominator. So we could just try and get them all the same common denominator. Okay. So what do we think? Give that one an x plus 10 top and bottom, yeah? And then give this one an x plus 10 top and bottom. This is a bit of a war, if I'm being honest. It's 8x squared plus 80x minus 120x minus 240 equals minus 40x minus 400. And then bring it all to one side. 8x squared. Actually, the 120x's are going to cancel, aren't they? Interesting. $120 take away $120, and that'll be plus 240 equals minus 160. That's impossible. We're about to get an impossible answer, but where my mistake was is that was 2,400, and that saves me here. So, thank you. That's 2,000, which is a lot better. Divide that by 8. What is that when you divide it by 8? Before that, what's 2,000 divided by 8? 250. Thank you. And then x is the square root of that, is it? Square root of 250. What's root 250? What? 15.8. And guys, we can figure out what y is as well, do we? Oh man, we have to figure out the y of y as well. So y is, what did we say y was earlier? 120 divided by, anybody? 10 plus x. So 10 plus root 250. What's the answer? Come on. 4.65. 4.65.